July 1588. A freak storm saved England from the greatest invasion force the world had ever seen. But what if the winds hadn't shifted? What if the Protestant wind had been a Spanish breeze, and the Invincible Armada had actually succeeded?
Imagine the Duke of Medina Sidonia's fleet successfully anchoring off the coast of Margate. The veteran Spanish tercios, the most feared infantry in Europe, pour onto English soil. The English militia, brave but hopelessly outmatched, collapses under the weight of professional steel.
By the time the sun sets over the Thames, the Spanish flag flies over the Tower of London. Queen Elizabeth I is no longer a defiant monarch. She is a high-profile prisoner of the Vatican and the Spanish crown.
The first thing to change would be the soul of the nation. The Church of England is dismantled overnight. Cardinal William Allen is installed as the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the fires of the Inquisition are lit in Smithfield. England doesn't just become Catholic again, it becomes the northern fortress of the Counter-Reformation.
The English Bible is banned, replaced by the Latin Vulgate, and the blossoming English Renaissance is filtered through the strict lens of Spanish orthodoxy.
Think of the cultural icons we might have lost. A young William Shakespeare, just beginning his career in London, might have been censored, exiled, or forced to write Jesuit morality plays. The spirit of English individualism, which was forged in the fires of the Reformation, is extinguished before it can truly ignite.
The global consequences are even more staggering. Without English support, the Dutch Republic would have fallen back into Spanish hands. The golden age of the Netherlands, which gave us modern banking and master painters, never happens.
But the biggest shift occurs across the Atlantic. Without the English Navy to challenge them, North America becomes a Spanish monopoly. There is no Jamestown, no Plymouth Rock, and no United States as we know it. The map of the New World is drawn entirely in Madrid.
English becomes a minor dialect on a rainy island, while Spanish becomes the undisputed language of the globe.
Ironically, this total victory might have been the undoing of Spain itself. Governing a rebellious, occupied England would have bled the Spanish treasury dry far faster than their wars in Flanders did. The British Empire, which eventually fueled the Industrial Revolution, would never have existed. Without that push for coal and steam to power a global navy, the world today might be more agrarian, more traditional, and far less technologically advanced.
We live in a world defined by a storm that happened over 400 years ago. If those clouds hadn't gathered, the very words I'm speaking might have been in a different language, in a world ruled by a different cross. History is a house of cards, and in 1588, the wind was the only thing keeping our version of reality standing. Subscribe for more.